2024 Monroe County Monthly Board of Education. Everybody stand, please, for the silence and salute to the flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I messed up. Forgive me, I'm still jerking. That's okay. There's no doubt. 4-11-2, Declaration of Conflict. Per the Tennessee Code annotated 49-2-202, Board of Education members who have relatives per the statute relatively means spouse, parent, parent-in-law, child, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandparent, grandchild, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, or any person who resides in the same household as you, employed by the system, are asked to raise your hands to identify yourself. Do you certify that the votes you make tonight will be in the best interest of the school system, regardless of the effect that your vote may have upon the employment of your relative or relatives? 4-11-3, request to address the board. Cassandra Kirkles, did I pronounce that correct? Teresa? Carissa. Come ahead, ma'am. Can
I come up there with her?
Sure. She, only one can speak.
I'll let you speak.
Now, as per school board rules, you know, you got 5 minutes,
Okay.
okay?
Can I speak at all?
You have 5, and you have to direct it to me, not anybody personally.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, the reason we're here is mid-March, I think around the 18th, we received a letter in the mail saying that my son would be transferred to Madisonville Middle School. We called, set up, talked to someone up here in central office, had an appointment set up on Tuesday to go have a conversation with the principals and some other lady that had an incident. She couldn't attend, so, I'm sorry, what was your name? Had Leanne Strickland fill in. And we went on that date on, I think it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, have a conversation about it. It didn't end very well. Both principals got upset and left the room. We stayed and talked another 15 minutes. We don't have any reason other than misbehaving for him getting kicked out of the Monroe schools. And as of now, I don't have any reason to go on. I don't know what he was misbehaving for. I never received a phone call. The only time that we've made contact with a principal, vice principal, was when we brought an issue to them. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a personal issue because we've been there and had conversations so many times. I don't know what the deal is. And I'd like to find out why. Like I said, all I've received information is it's misbehaving. He received a 1-day in-school suspension for 10 tickets, and according to the book, it says 10 tickets received is a fun day taken. Well, he had 10 tickets and received a 1-day in-school suspension, which, according to this book and rules that they're enforcing, calls for 12. So I don't know why he received a 1-day in-school suspension. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it and figure out what's going on. And he's pretty adamant about not letting anything go, but he won't specify on what he's not letting go. And that's what I have to say.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to come out here tonight and present this to us, and
Yes, sir.
as per the law and statutes, we cannot address it right now at this meeting. Is Dr. Windsor?
I will be happy to send the board for your review, documentation on the complaint that was filed and any investigation that's followed that, in addition to Mr. Conley's documentation that he has for you to review. And then you've heard what the family has shared, of course, and you can review that and then get back with me, and we can get in touch with you as to what
Okay.
any next step might be. Okay?
Absolutely, that'd be fine.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank you
y'all.
very much.
Four 11-4, recognition of the following LTVEC Teacher of the Year nominees. Cassell Fogelgren, Spanish teacher at Talco Plains High School. Andrea Leatherwood, special education teacher at TP Talco Plains Elementary. Director?
I think I've determined the best way to do this is always when I sit and then get up, because when I leave, my voice leaves. So I would like to recognize these two individuals tonight for the amazing work that they do in their classrooms with our students in their school and throughout their school communities. We are very fortunate to have both of these ladies working with us. The benefit and the contributions they make are just, I can't even put into words how wonderful they have done in the positions that they're in. So it was with great pleasure that I took the recommendations from the schools and the input from the supervisors and administrators who work with these two individuals and submitted those to LTVEC as our nominations for this year. There will be a banquet where all of the nominations from the schools included in this they will be recognized, and the grand winners of each grade level will be announced. So I will follow up and let you know who that will be. But we are just honored to have them and be able to have them represent Monroe County on our behalf. And we want to recognize them at this level now, regardless of what the next step is. We are very proud and are honored to have you. So thank you.
Four 11-5, student recognition. Swearer High School student Eliza Cook, winner of the Monroe County Schools Flag Contest. Director?
And I think we may have not had this spelled correctly on our agenda. Is it Elijah? Is that correct? Okay. I've practiced that all afternoon. I had to say it out loud. At this time, for her recognition, I have asked the teacher who is accompanying her to just say a bit about what this project included and also Elijah's contribution to it and the fact that she is here tonight as a winner. You can come up here. And if you would like this, just to, your own notes, just to reference. Thank you.
Coach Weaver had approached me about the actual logo contest earlier in the year, and it was, well, I know, it was across the county, all the schools, and he had asked if I would incorporate it into my classroom or ask some of my students to help design a logo that unified the schools. Everybody has their own mascot, everyone has their own banners, flags, but there wasn't one logo to go for all the Monroe County schools. So I presented it as a assignment, and I was quite surprised how many students did not realize what all our county had to offer. So I put all 4 cities, little towns on the board, and the different landmarks, different features that each town had to offer, and asked my students to create a logo that would represent Monroe County, not just the schools, but some of the other things that we had to offer. And after months of waiting and many, many students asking, who won, finally, Coach Weaver sent me an email, and Miss Alacy Cook, she's a sophomore, she's in my Art 1 class, and sweetheart, I wish I had a whole class full of them, just like her. And she came up with the design that you see on the flag there. So it's the Monroe County Schools, has the state of Tennessee, has Monroe County outlined in it, and then the mountains and some of our nature, and then when the schools were incorporated, and incorporated the seals too. So she did an awesome job. I'm putting lots of features in there. So, yeah.
I'm really good at doing things just on the whim like that. Yes, I would like for you to come back here, and we will get a picture of you with the board. It's gonna probably need to be you want me to have them come on in, or? And this is just last minute, or it can just be in front of the board.
And just so you all know, there were 182 entries, so she was picked from a lot of options. Her work. All right, that's perfect. So you want everybody to,
That's fine, that's fine, you can do it here. I don't know that we can get them all in here with this setup. Also, last minute, I texted Dr. Strickland and asked if she will take her down front. In the front lobby, there is a print of this, of her original work that we have hung up front in the lobby of central office. So I'd like to have a picture of her down there as well. We'll get those to you, okay? She is a delightful young lady. When we went to make the presentation at Sweetwater High School, I just can't tell you enough how proud I was. I did not know her. And it makes me proud to see students like this represent our schools and our district as a whole. So thank you very much and congratulations. We have a certificate for you. And Dr. Strickland will take you down to get a photo before you leave, okay? Thank you. All right, thank you very much. It's safe for you to go with her. She works here.
4-11-6, approval of the consent and regular agenda. Before we do the motion, I want to again say thousands of dollars are given every month to our system by the citizens of Monroe County. It looks like there's over tens of thousands of dollars given this month, and I don't think there's enough recognition of that and the amount of money that Monroe County gives to our school system. It's truly amazing. I don't know, I can't speak for other systems, but every month I look at this and see thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars given by the people for our school system. Thank you from my heart, and I'm sure I speak for the whole board here. 411-6, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Four 11-7, approval of the April 2024 budget amendments. Any big numbers, Gail, Shelley, that I need to ask about?
No.
No, good enough for me. Motion to approve.
I make the motion to approve.
Second? Second. Any discussion? Any opposed? Any opposed? I should have said it first. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. 4-11-8, approval of the minutes from the March 14th, 2024 regular school board meeting. Motion to approve. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. New business, 4-11-9, notice of facilities remodel change request, Sweetwater High School, CTE Agriculture Department. construct a new greenhouse and open-air market in the existing greenhouse area and will be funded by the ISM grant established $20,000. What is ISM? What is that grant?
Innovative schools, is that correct?
Innovative schools? Who does that? The state does. Thank you. Anybody have any questions on this? Old business. 4-11-10, Director of Schools report.
As far as their enrollment, as of 4/10/2024, it was down to 4,882 students, and that is down 13 from the month of March. Tomorrow's MoCo Senior Games is an opportunity for the 3 high schools to compete in academics, talent, and sporting events for the title of MoCo Senior Games champions. We are happy to see that event return. It ended a few years ago, and we have brought it back through the hard work of Eric Weaver and Dr. Strickland and an entire team of people who devoted time and effort and energy to this. The school's faculty and staffs have been involved, as well as all of the students, and we are very excited to see who takes home the trophy. TCAP testing begins next week. All grades will begin with an ELA test, which concentrates on reading one or more text and writing an essay in response to the text. After that, students will be tested in more ELA, math, science, and social studies. Raw scores will be back at the end of the school year, and the scores from that test will be calculated into the grades of students in 3 through 10. This means grade cards will not be ready for parent pickup on May 21st, but we will be able to reach out to families and let them know. We wanted to give plenty of notice for that. The final thing for me is a visit that we had. If you've noticed the video that has been scrolling through on the screens in front of you, that is from what was called a Humphrey Fellows visit. And that is a visit from a group of individuals made up from 13 countries around the world. We had representatives from Madagascar, Nigeria, Pakistan, Romania, Mexico, all 13 different countries came, and they spend a year at Vanderbilt University. They all work in the field of education in some form or fashion. They asked to just be, basically to visit the district and to be able to highlight as much of the district in that amount of time that we could. It was one of the best experiences that I have had this year, and just to watch those people from 13 different countries here visiting our schools, seeing what our teachers do, what our students do, what the district as a whole has to offer, it was an amazing experience. At the beginning of the visit, in true Monroe County fashion, the power went off at Sweetwater High School across the entire city. So they got to see how we respond to those unplanned events. So out come the cell phone lights, and we just walked them right down the hallway. So the power, and in true Sweetwater High School fashion, they were ready to roll without power. They were going to do whatever they had to do to get as much of their presentation in as they could. Luckily, the power came back on, and they picked up and carried on. We went from Sweetwater High School to Madisonville Primary School. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and ask that they play a little video about that visit, because it was amazing. And to watch people tear up, it was great. Yep. And we're going to show a video. We sure are going to show a video. There we go. See, that was a little teaser of what you're going to see. How many want to see more? If you can watch that and not smile, you need to get your heart right. The visitors, when that was on, I mean, I just watched around the room, and it was unbelievable to take it in. I mean, you had people tearing up. You had them trying, because Sweetwater introduced them to Rocky Top. That was unplanned, and tried to teach them when to do the whoo, and that was entertaining too. I mean, they were whooing at different times all over the place. They did not try that at Madisonville Primary, but they did know the song because we explained the relevance. And then from Madisonville Primary School, we finished at Monroe Middle School. And at the very end, we're just going to play through the video that the county, all of the schools in the county submitted. She did say that's the first time in the 44 districts they visited. We were the last one, number 45.
Welcome to Cotton Creek Elementary School. We're a kindergarten
We'll do that now then.
community school in southeast Monroe, Tennessee. Our mission is to ensure that all students learn skills and acquire knowledge that will prepare them for the next level of education. Our teachers, staff, and students agree that Cotton Creek Elementary is a great place to be.
And made mischief of one kind.
Kindergarten through 8th grade school located in Tellico Plains, Tennessee. We're so glad you're Go Panthers.
Or at least the last one has that before. So just work on this.
Thank you for visiting our school.
I'm about to have a good day. No matter
School was created in the 2022-23 school year and was formed to offer a non-traditional schooling platform for students grades 4 through 12. With this only being the second year, NCBS continues to increase in enrollment. NCBS is an online learning platform that offers students many opportunities for success, allowing students flexibility, opportunity to learn at their own pace, and interactive learning for students. To enhance the academic program at NCBS, teachers implement videos, announcements, and one-on-one help when needed and requested. Teachers are always ready to aid and help any student in multiple formats. Offers all major requirements for graduation, with amazing teachers and staff guiding students along the way. Grades 4 through 8 receive their English, Math, Science, and Social Studies courses, while high school classes become more extensive with business and computer classes, their core graduation classes, and other elective courses. Monroe County Virtual School has the highest graduation rate in Monroe County. Our teachers are highly qualified with many years of experience, and teachers and staff are extremely motivated to see students succeed and become successful in any path they choose to pursue. Monroe County Virtual School is an excellent alternative to brick and mortar schools for many students, and we are proud to represent this non-traditional path for students and help them to be more successful in their
So, you have just officially, well, thank you. Everybody involved in that deserves a round of applause. So you have visited the entire district via video and the highlights that I've shared from the schools they visited in person. And the uniqueness of that was made evident to me when they explained that out of the 44 districts they'd visited prior to us, we were the final visit for their year. So at 45, we were the only district that showed the entire district to them. So the only district to provide an opportunity to see every school represented in some way. And that was not an accident. Who can pick between all of our schools to highlight? And so the goal was to highlight one grade level in person and then each community. So I think they did a fabulous job on very short notice. At Mr. Conley's school, it was just, again, just like the other two they visited in person, it was a great experience. They had lots of questions. It was amazing to me the similarities in the obstacles that they face in education in the different countries represented, and how similar they are to what we face. So they did a lot of asking and saying, I'm going to take that back to my home and where I work. So we were honored to host them. It was a wonderful experience, so much so that they called the place they were going to next because they were 2 hours late leaving us. So 2 hours after the end of their visit, I was parked on the side of the road at the bridge in Vonore as they headed to Gatlinburg, waving out the window. They did also say I'd make a great tour guide, so that may be something I look into. So thank you to everyone involved, and I just wanted you to see that. That is the best part of my job. The budget stuff, the money stuff, all the paperwork, all the requirements, the rules, the laws. This is why we all do what we do. And when I look around the room and see the teachers and administrators and supervisors represented here, it is obvious that they have a passion and a love for our students. So thank you to everybody involved.
4-11-11, any other business the board feels necessary to discharge its duties?
Mr. Chairman, I have some.
Yes,
During
ma'am.
our workshop, we were discussing roofs, so I'm gonna ask Philip to step back up and explain the Rule Bell situation and what can be fixed, and let me show that on paper and everything.
So yes, as we had discussed, and I know we threw around some numbers, and to do what we had talked about and what I've been looking at was just to fix the areas that was leaking, the roof over the gym, and also a section over the connector hallway for the two older buildings. But then after further discussion, looking into it, and looking at some different numbers, I would like to know if we can do 734 instead of the 600 and really try to get it all done for that amount at that location.
I make the motion that we take the money from the fund balance to get this roof fixed.
I second. 734. It was discussed 5 to 6.
I'm just, what you got recorded in there wasn't no money in it. Make sure the money's in the motions, what I'm saying.
He has a drawing and he gets the whole roof except for the section you just completed the shingles, right?
Yes,
I know.
yes.
But her motion,
Yep.
For $734,000.
the 734,000. So that does it all.
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I have a couple of questions there. Philip, I know that you said in a couple of board meetings that you have continuously asked for money for the roofs. That's been an ongoing project, and you also stated that you've been turned down. I don't remember any board meeting in the last 4 years ever being turned down. With the money we're sitting on right now, why just this one roof? Why not 3 or 4 roofs? Because if we got, well, I think the last business meeting we had $11 million. Is that correct, Gail?
Well, budget workshop, we discussed if we put everything in the budget, we would be in the negative. So if we budget one roof at a time, it's more reasonable to see where we are next year. If we do Ruleville this year, close out the year, see where we are financially, then he can come back and ask money for another roof. But if we pass the budget doing 3 roofs this year, we will not pass the budget next year.
You're saying 3 roofs? Which are the worst three roofs?
Ruravale, Sweetwater, and here,
And here?
yes,
And the total cost of all three of those is
2.7.
2.7 million. So let's say $3 million, that still leaves us considerable amount of money. That still leaves us, what, $7 million? And the state says we have to have 3%, which is what, 1.78 million, I think, somewhere in that range. Say it real fast, it's not a lot of money. Why can we not do 3?
Oh, that's not up to me.
During
We-
the workshop, they explained a lot of it, and then, you know, the salaries for the teachers have to be up, but then, so we asked him which roofs were the worst. And so like Gail said, go ahead and start Rovell now, and then whichever one of the other two is the worst, which he said Sweetwater. Then after the budget and everything, let them see where they are financially, and then come back and revisit that roof.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I guess to speak to what you're saying, they're explaining about the maintenance portion. That's not looking at any other budgets that will require an increase, which will have to come out of the fund balance. So even though you're looking at the roofs and what's
Correct.
in the fund balance, which I'm not sure that figure's necessarily, I'm not sure, I have to have it in front of me. We're gonna have some other areas that we're gonna have to take money to be able to balance the budget. So this is not the only increase that would be required out of the total budget. I was just saying that for clarification purposes.
I appreciate that. I understood that. I was just, I knew that money, and I know, Joe just alluded to the fact of teachers, we're having to bump the teachers to $50,000. And what, we got 500 teachers?
About 370.
Whatever we got, if they all made $50,000 and all that, and I've spoken with some legislators, and they say, and I know we have to worry about that, but they say there's no way that a small county like Monroe County, Bledsoe County, and some of these counties can make it unless there's money forthcoming from the state. So I don't know that we have to worry about that much, but I just want to know why not other roofs. And I know there's other concerns that we have to worry about, but if we're worried about our children's safeties, as I was going through the list, I know I saw the roofs, I saw some, and I missed it, and I apologize for missing it. Was there anything to cover that electrical? Sound like there were several electrical wirings that need to be taken care of. Was that covered in this budget too?
No, those are just future needs for that facility, that we are fine with that facility as it is now.
So that wasn't something the kids are,
No,
have access to?
Nobody's in danger, nothing.
Okay,
So,
okay. What about the mold at these, Von Orr?
we have some effervescence, we do not have mold. That's included in the budget.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I'd like to put in, to amend that thing that said, let's do a couple of roofs this year. 2 roofs, the 2 worst roofs. I'd like to put that in the amendment, the original amendment with, and instead of just 1 roof, I'd like to have 2, at least 2 roofs. Worst 2 roofs. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't have the money. When she presents the final budget, you'll see. But we're gonna come back after the following budget's approved and re-look at, as Gail said.
You're saying, our $10 million can't cover two roofs? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Bettis?
10 million absolutely can, but
That's what we have, $10 million.
it's not exactly available, though.
It's not?
No.
Where is it?
I'll let Dr. Windsor speak to that.
That's an excess at 10 in the fund balance, I believe that's correct.
Gail, I will let you elaborate on the purpose of choosing the one and what the plan is. We need to start one now. This school year, go ahead and get the process started because it does take time. Some things have to be done to avoid conflicts with the schools and the properties. We're gonna go ahead and start now, taking it out of our money and paying. At Gail's suggestion, which the board and I thought would be a good suggestion, would be to go ahead and start that project once it's completed, which will be into the next school year, but by all means, it will not be at the end of the school year. Reevaluate where we are after we've done the entire budget, that includes all raises and any other additions that had to be made, and then see what project we can start at that time, and work that into the budget.
So you're saying it's coming out of this year's budget?
This one,
This
we're
one is.
starting now. We're starting now.
Okay.
And it will go into next year. And so we just want to be sure that we see which one it would be better to start on next. They are all equally in need of repair. But as far as the one that was worse and needed to be done more quickly, that was the one that not unanimously, but a majority felt like that was the best route to start.
With.
And then look at the next priority once we see how much money is left once that's completed. Did I
So
say
what
that
you're
correctly?
saying, do this one this year, and then it's gonna be in the next budget to do the second one for next year if there's enough money for it. What decides that?
That's what we're,
Philip will come to you and ask and give you an estimate and ask if it's okay to go into fund balance.
Is that gonna be in August, Philip?
It'd be whenever we finish up this, Ruleville project.
Okay. Then I'll rescind my motion on that then. Thank you, Philip. You got a first and second, any further discussion? All in favor, roll call.
Do the Little Bell roof, it cost us $734,000. And that'll be finished.
So, do I need to put that in there, Mr. Parliamentarian, that I want this next roof started? I mean, when is the Rural Vale gonna be done? You said end of next year, that could be next July.
We've got to do the architectural, or the engineering, and then put it out to bid, so it'll be, hopefully we can start it, this is April, May, hopefully it could start close to the end of school, maybe the 1st of June. So then it'll probably take at least maybe 3 months. So June, July,
You're talking
August.
this June, so we can start the next one. This one will be done the end of June, so the
No, no,
second.
We start at the beginning of June, take 3 months, so July, August, September timeframe. Hopefully we'll be done with that, and then we can look at the funding and then go to the next phase.
So what's that put us, July, August, September? No later than September, you'll come back and the board can re-examine this.
Yep.
And one thing Mr. Williams recommended, like Philip oversee it so that we make sure everything's done instead of having 2 and 3 big projects like that going. That way we make sure it's done and hopefully no issues, for future years and stuff. So that's why one at a time, one of those big ones, which was a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Richard Bettis? Yes. Ms. Joe Cagle?
Yes.
Ms. Sharon Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Mark Ingram?
Yes.
Mr. Freddie Kelly? Mr. John Ridgel?
Yes.
Dr. Lon Schupman?
Yes.
Chairman Don Weiss, no. Mr. Dean Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes 8-1.
Mr. Chairman, one great thing about this, we're gonna have to go to county commission and ask for tax increase.
Well, we've been there pretty good for the last several years, and it seems like we have enough money to take care of the business we have to take care of down the road. Anything else, discussion on this one?
Nick, no, I've got something.
You want to bring it up now?
If you're through with the roof.
I'm through with the roof.
Okay. I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna do it tonight, because I'm gonna clarify comments from last month's meeting that I made about the virtual school. At no time did I mean that the employees were not doing their job in the virtual school. At the time, and I'm still frustrated with the parents and the students that take advantage of this virtual school. We voted and give them a privilege of being able to use this because they didn't want to function. If I get off track, you just turn me off. They didn't want to function in a regular school. So at no time did I mean anything towards the teachers, but the parents and the students need to take a better advantage of what we've offered them to do. And I apologize if anybody took it wrong.
Well, it says, the policy says, especially during all meetings right here, it says that there's, each school board member is supposed to encourage a free, full discussion.
Yeah, but
And
I come across
whether you
that
did,
the
I mean, that's
teachers
just,
and the principal was responsible, and it's not the teachers and the principals, just like on any in any other part of education. It's the parents, and then the students, and then the teachers and the principal. That's the way I believe. The parents are responsible, and I guess that's what I was frustrated about. But anyway, you do a good job, and I want to commend the chairman. This is on another note. We took the tours of the schools. I think our facilities, I would give them an 8 or a 9 out of a possible 10. And I'm talking about countywide from Monroe to Sweetwater. I was really impressed with Sweetwater because I've sat here and listened for 20, now I'm fixing to put my foot in my mouth again. I've sat here for 20 or 30 years on the commission and on the school board and heard how awful Sweetwater School was and how the roofs was and how it was an old building and how it was gonna fall in. But I was very impressed with it, and I feel like now it may be worth 40 or $50 million and we don't need to give it away. But really, I'm joking a little, but really I was impressed with Sweetwater the most, but all our schools, Philip, you've even done a good job. You may not have done a spreadsheet tonight, but you still. So I can eat crow when I have to eat crow.
I would like to say thank you.
Well, I mean, it was,
Well, when I proposed visiting the schools, it says, in the rules, says that if the chairman feels like visiting schools is necessary and important, we can call for it. And I didn't want to just do that. I wanted the board to vote on it, and we did. I think we passed it 8-1. I want and the rules also say that the people ought to know open discussions go on about spending their money. We're not talking about our money, we're talking about the citizens of Monroe County, and I want these discussions out here, a free and open discussion. We don't have to agree. If you get 9 people in the room agreeing, there's something wrong, in my opinion. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to get these multiple budget meetings and going to the schools, and I think it was very worthwhile. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for that. All right, moving on. 4-11-12, Sweetwater High School Hall of Fame interactive software presentation by Sarah Davies, teacher at Sweetwater High School. Come on down, Sarah.
I'm Sarah Davies. I'm at Sweetwater. I teach English and media arts, and I'm moving forward to just teaching media arts. And Dr. Windsor asked me to come present this to you. I'm very proud of it. I want to walk you through the history of it. This is what we call at Sweetwater High School our Wildcat Wall of Honor. And the way it came about was a few years ago in discussions with Coach Weaver, we talked about getting a Hall of Fame, an athletic Hall of Fame. We didn't have one at that time. And we went back and forth, and we walked miles around that school looking for the perfect place to place it. And like they said, it's an old school, and all the walls are covered, and there's lots of memorabilia there, and we just couldn't find the perfect place. And I proposed doing a virtual Hall of Fame. We'll have monuments, physical monuments, but also have this so people who don't live in the area can also see what's happening with our Hall of Fame. And from this, it kind of grew. I found this company, this software, and it's unbelievable what it can do and what it can offer for Sweetwater High School. And my media classes and myself and coaches and everybody have been adding to it. And it just keeps growing. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things that it does. And it's all touch screen. So we now have box lights in every single one of our classrooms. And our teachers are utilizing this kind of thing, not only to recognize our Hall of Fame, but other aspects. And I'll get into that in a second. But we have one of these screens mounted outside of our gymnasium. We got that donated. And we're going to put a mural behind it and make it look nice. We have 2 other screens coming. We've been in discussions of putting one on the other side of the entrance of the gym, and then actually having one out at the football field with a waterproof case, and then after football season, take it out so people in the community can enjoy it. There's also, you can also access this on any computer. It's on our website in the athletics tab. And then there's also a QR code. At some point, if you want to scan that, you can have it on your mobile device. So this is the home screen that it sits on. So if you have it in your classroom, it will just scan through this. The kids love going through it, so I'll just kind of walk you through. And here's where it started. The Athletic Hall of Fame, and we just had one little tab for it, and there's so much more, but I'll take you through the Athletic Hall of Fame. So this is all the people who have been inducted into our Hall of Fame so far, and they have their tabs.
Who's that curly-haired guy right there
Oh, looky there.
with dark hair?
Shall we
Who is
look
that
at Coach Weiss's profile? Because he was inducted this past year into our,
Coach Joe?
look at that hair. So, as they're inducted, I create a profile for them, and Tommy Millsaps does all the write-ups for us, because he knows a lot more about the history than I do. So you can read all about Coach Weiss right there, and look at all his different hairdos as you go through. So you can scroll through the pictures of him. There it is.
That's my curly, that wasn't afro.
There you go. So that's one aspect of it. There's a lot that we can add. So like Coach Bill Dupes, we actually were able to find videos of him. So if you go through, it will play video that might otherwise have been lost. These are on YouTube, but I didn't know about him, and a lot of kids didn't know who Bill Dupes were, and they need to know this. So they can watch these videos of him. There's another one of him getting inducted to the Tennessee Hall of Fame. So he goes through that. So we're looking for more videos for all of this. So we worked really hard on adding all this and creating these profiles. And we were actually do the honorary Hall of Fame for the High Point. So we go through the history of we had that High Point celebration. So they're honorary members of our Hall of Fame. So we were able to go up to the City Museum. We took the kids up there, Coach Weaver and myself, and they were able to dig through this history that they had no clue about. We talked to a lot of kids that had no clue that their relatives went to this school. And through this research, we were able to find the state championship teams, all these articles, and be able to add to our history and our culture. So after that, we have this program, and there's so much more we could do. So I'm thinking, I've been doing this for about 2 years. So athletic records, we've had coach turnover. All of our athletic records are disappearing. When coaches leave, they take them with them. They're destroyed. Coach Weaver, he was a softball coach before I was, and he took great records. So I'll go to softball. I have every record for 30 years, and it's amazing, and people love to see this. So you can scroll through here. I can build profiles for anybody who has a record. So like, I'm gonna pick on my niece because I know she'll get mad. So outfield fielding percentage, she's the third highest outfield fielding percentage in all of Sweetwater softball. So if I click on her name, I can add a video. This is when we played Sequoia and she fell down and then got up, went the wrong way, and then scored. So I put that, and that was just an example. I was seeing if the videos would work. She's very proud of that, though. That was, we beat Sequoia that day. So it gives them their class, their record, so all kinds of stuff. So you look at Sarah Hauser or Kylie Hicks. We have her picture. We had pictures, we had videos. We can add lots of stuff. So these are amazing. I can actually set up as we move forward, enter your email address if you're a record holder, and when your record is broken, it will email you, probably the saddest email, but you would get it and let you know that your record has been broken. So that's one aspect of it. There's all the different records. We're working on it. I'm getting phone calls from Sweetwater historians who have kept records for us for years. We're going to sit down with them. Every person that's ever scored 1,000 points is on here, and it tells when they did it. how many they scored. So there's lots of stuff. Working with the football coaches and also the girls coaches about this is something that can be current, a lifting leaderboard. So as we go through, this is ever changing. So we can change this once a month, once a week if we need to, whenever they max out. And I know the football boys have really been pushing themselves, and we're going to get the girls involved next year as well because their pictures are on there, their weights are on there. It's competition between them. So going forward, I was like, we need more than just athletics for this. It's such a powerful program. So my media arts class, we created Student of the Week, and this has been a great addition. We put this on our Facebook, but this is a way to house it because if it gets on Facebook, it gets lost. You know, in a couple weeks, you don't see it anymore. So we've gotten a lot of great feedback, Ms. Vineyard and I. Like one of these parents called me and she's like, I have tears in my eyes. I'm so proud she doesn't get the recognition. She's not an athlete. This just means the world. They've shared it hundreds of times. And so they're housed here. So that's another aspect of it. We've met with alumni and she said, well, cheerleaders aren't in the Hall of Fame. I'll never make it on this board. I said, well, that gave me another idea. So we're starting to archive every past team we've ever had, so this history does not get lost. So we made a tab for cheerleaders. These are all the past teams, and we started building. We have access to all these old yearbooks, so whatever year it is that we had cheerleaders, we can click on it, 1946, here are the cheerleaders from 1946. And like, oh, that's my great-grandma. The football teams, every football team, we're starting to add. My media arts kids are doing this, a lot of it, and learning how to run this program so we can click through. Who knew what the schedule was for 1952? Now you do. So, I mean, if you ever need to know that, it's right here. So, that's the team, but people love the history of this. So we're adding, you thought Sweetwater just now got volleyball, but we had it in 19-something. I forget to put the year. But that's, yeah. So I forgot to put the date on that one. But we're building all that. So then those are all the past teams. We have the current teams. We're keeping these up to date. So here's our volleyball team from this year. We add all the pictures. We have great photographers that come to our games. We add all the pictures, and then next year, those will be archived in the past teams tab. So there's that part. And then all of our yearbooks are housed on here. So, Ms. Vineyard, what year did you graduate? 1992. So anyways, you just click on a year. You actually, it looks like a yearbook. You can flip through it. You can skip on the side to go through it. You can find all the embarrassing pictures of your teachers and relatives and all that. So those are all on there. We've almost finished adding those. Every valedictorian we've ever had is housed on here. It also has a great searching tool by the graduation year or their last name. So you can go through and search for those. We're working on distinguished alumni. Ms. Cleveland started this program on Facebook, and I've just taken the work she's done. But we can go through and add our alumni that do great things and recognize them here. And this is a place that will always be. But the one thing that I want to mention is our Veterans tab. Now, Ms. Kendra Cox, she runs the Marbletown Guardians, and she did our Veterans wall that's housed in our school. And I helped her out with this. And like if on King Barong, I did those graphics, and she did the research. And so as I'm adding these graphics, I said, let's expand this. And so we brainstormed and we decided to because that's way too much research to find every single veteran that's ever served that went to Sweetwater or taught at Sweetwater. So we crowdsourced it. So every once in a while, we'll send out a Facebook message. We're going to contact the newspaper and ask them. Technology created me a veterans email, so they will email, like, I think it's veterans at Monroe, whatever our email is. And the emails just started flooding in. I mean, it was overwhelming. I got probably 70 emails of people who wanted to be included in this database. So, like this, Netta Bilderback, her story is amazing. So she gave me all that information. She actually, through this program, she wants to come talk to students and meet teachers and all that. So she gave me all these pictures. And then what my media arts class is doing is they're going in the old yearbooks and finding everywhere she appears and finding these pictures and adding them to her profile. And Mr. Rhodes, Rex Rhodes' brother, his family contacted me, and they gave me this picture and the information. And then I found these pictures from the yearbooks, and they said, I've never seen that picture before. And it was, I mean, he's been gone for a while, but it was amazing that that they were able to get the piece of him like this history. And so I've built a couple profiles for the Rhodes family. And so that's the veteran aspect. But you can search by their branch, their graduation, the war served, last name. And so we're working hard to build this database that we're pretty proud of. Yes, sir.
The biggest selling point that you gave me on this, it's not gonna burn up the fire. All those yearbooks in the library at Sweetwater High School that they have on record, they're gone, but it's still here forever.
So, and where the kids brainstorm constantly and what we can add to it, and they wanted to add all the principals. We have pictures of them on the wall, and so we started researching, and we were looking at Mr. Sample, and I think every principal needs to take that picture right there for future. Ms. Vineyard. So, and they love digging into the history of it. They love searching and adding to our wall. And one thing we're looking forward to as I move forward in media arts is starting a weekly news program where this board will be on the smart boards in their room. Where a teacher, we just have a tab for news. They go up, click it, the video is there. There's no links, there's no going to YouTube, anything like that. You click it, the news for the week, all the information the kids need to know in our announcements is there, and we shoot it like a news program in front of a backdrop. And you know, whatever, in the morning after daily announcements, they watch that, and then it's there, and then we move forward. So that's something that we're working on for the future. There's lots of things that we're adding, and it's constantly expanding, but I'm very honored to get to share that with you, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
And you see why I asked her to come. I was amazed to see everything included in this, and they're still building it. I'd love to see every school be able to do it. I've already sent a couple of principals a text. So I was so impressed. I mean, this is an amazing thing for Sweetwater High School to have, and she has done an excellent job with it. I'm glad that Weaver supported it when it was up to him as to whether or not it happened, and that Ms. Vineyard has continued on with allowing her to continue to build. So thank you very much for what you've done and for presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that impressive presentation. Joe, do I have a motion to adjourn? Will you second that? Everybody in favor? So moved.